Good morning. I have decided to do a Facebook Live precisely because I have spoken to the media in Tamil, and there are lots of my Facebook friends who would like to know what has happened in the court today with regards to the Sathangulam case. Therefore, I'm going Facebook Live. This morning, the court started at 10:45, and the case went on till about almost 12:20, only with this case. And therefore, this is a historical hearing. Let me tell you. I would like to divide the hearing into different parts. The first part was the hearing where the CBCID investigating officer, Mr. Anil Kumar, was asked to come initially on the phone and then on video, and he participated in the hearings. He informed the court that the two 174 FIRs, suspicious death FIRs, have been converted into 302. Crime number 1 relating to Mr. Benix and crime number 2 relating to Mr. Jairaj. That was what he informed. He said 15 witnesses have been so far examined. He said one sub-inspector has been taken into custody and remanded in the Koilpatti before the Koilpatti magistrate. And he said 4 other police are in custody, waiting to be remanded. Immediately the court intervened and said they will immediately pass orders allowing the Chief Judicial Magistrate at Tuticorin to be the person to whom they will report, so that they don't have to transport the accused so far for the purpose of remand, which is 100 kilometers from Sathangulam. So that was one development. The second development was they asked him whether he had a public prosecutor to assist, and they said you must have the assistance of a good public prosecutor, a cadre public prosecutor who would be able to assist you in your legal questions. And then asked him whether he had all the other facilities. And then the final piece of advice was what was the most humane part of the order, and was asking him to assure that their investigation team would be carrying out their work in such a manner that it would bring confidence in the minds of the victim's family. He said, how you investigate, what you do is different, but always see that the victim's family is positively able to see the entire investigation moving forward. They also asked about woman head constable Revati, and I will come to that immediately in a second. Now, the second part happened to be on the developments that have taken place, or the efforts taken by the government of Tamil Nadu to reduce the stress level among the police. So the ADGP welfare of the government of Tamil Nadu, the registrar of the NIMHANS, our good friend Dr. Shekhar, and the coordinator of this program in the state of Tamil Nadu, veteran mental health specialist Dr. C. Ramasubramaniam, my good friend from the Chellamuthu Trust in Madurai, were then asked to depose, and they would depose for hours, stating exactly what the program was, how much has been spent. 10 crores has been allotted. This is the most unique program in the country, the first of its kind. NIMHANS had a lot to say on this, and it was good for a human rights person to hear what is being done for the well-being of policemen. I think these are things that we have always been demanding, and we are happy that they were able to report to the court, and I was extremely happy that the court was able to appreciate all the steps taken. One of the most important aspects there was the reporting by either Dr. Shekhar or Dr. CRS to the court, saying, when they asked them what is the effect of this program, and they said, we will just narrate to you one incident. And they said there was a father who had come on the Sunday of the training program. The training program, obviously, a well-being training program, is for 3 days, Friday and Saturday for the policemen, and Sunday is meant for the family members that the policeman or woman chooses to bring along. It may be the wife or the husband or the mother or a brother or somebody, and this particular person had thought of bringing his son. And at the end of the day, the son looked at the trainer and said, this is the first time I've seen my father for 3 hours continuously. I never had an opportunity to do that. It was a very, very moving testimony. And the worst part was, after that he asked the trainer, would you permit me to hug my father? Now this is the extent to which the program has had an impact. There are various cases of suicide that we have been able to prevent. Families have been brought together. But still, Dr. Shekhar was very clear in his saying, we are still at the tip of the iceberg. We have done something. There are certain professional changes that we wish to make, but we wish to tell you, they told the court, that the cost of this entire program so far is about 83 rupees per police personnel, and which is nothing. And if it is around 50 rupees per month, if you can spare, then in a period of 3 to 4 years, 5 years, we would be able to really go to the bottom of this entire stress levels of police in Tamil Nadu and make them not only mentally but also physically healthy to be able to handle people. And that was a very revealing part. And at the court, and then went to assure the government that while they were looking at this case, they were concerned, deeply concerned, and they expressed it in the most emotional way. Justice P.N. Prakash had a very special manner of stating this when he said, we are not only looking at this case, and that is why we took this as a suo motu PL, because we want to understand why a human being is able to so brutally handle another human being in this civilized society at this civilized age of ours. And that is why we are looking at various efforts that are being going on. So the question of the punishment, the question of the investigation, the question of the custody, the question of the judicial magistrate are all important matters. But this is also equally important because we want to understand, and we want Sathangulam to be the last of the series of cases that we've had so far, where brutal violence has led to the death of people. That was very, very touching. But the most touching aspect of this entire hearing was, and I think in my limited understanding, the first time that it has happened in judicial history, to my knowledge, or at least in this court, where the court was able to take up the phone and speak to a witness, directly to a witness. It took a long time for the court to get access to the witness, because that woman, head constable Revati, whose name is now public, perhaps is so scared that she did not want to take any phone calls. So I think somebody must have gone and said there is a call from the High Court, and thereafter she took, after almost an hour of trying. And there was a confidential conversation. But most important is that there was a conversation from the two judges of the bench, of the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court, to this witness. And this confidential conversation by itself would have definitely given the witness a lot of strength, but would have given all victims of torture a lot of strength that they have to speak. And their trust in a judiciary which has always failed them would have been rebuilt by this gesture. And that, I think, is very important for custodial, the jurisprudence of custodial justice in our country. That victims are able to feel that the courts are close to them, that they can trust investigating officers, that they can trust magistrates, and that the judiciary will deliver. There is a commitment made by this gesture. And I think that commitment is more important for lawyers like us, who want to bring the Constitution closer to the people, who want people to feel consoled by this Constitution and make this Constitution a meaningful instrument which reaches out to them. The bench did exactly that. And I think we need to genuinely appreciate the bench for its very, very special gesture. And I'm sure not only Revati, but all witnesses in this case would be given the same level of protection. She was assured a holiday with salary, and I'm sure there would have been other orders that will definitely come through. The court adjourned, and I hope, and I really hope, the case continues. That this is not the end of the suo motu PIL. The case needs to continue. There needs to be continuous monitoring of this case, so that the model that this bench has created continues. Whether it continues in Madurai, whether it continues in Chennai, it is good that it continues with the same bench, because then there is a continuity in the process. They have seen it from the beginning, but this has to continue. We have to ensure it continues. And while we say all this, as a civil liberties, human rights personnel, I still have some questions unanswered. And that is, why is the SP Arun Balagopal, the former SP, still on waiting? He has to be suspended. There is a responsibility on superior officers. Command and responsibility is what we say in the field, but otherwise a superior officer has to take responsibility. And this is the problem with the police force. They are such a hierarchy that the hierarchy always ensures that those who are on top are always protected and those who are below are never protected. And in this case, because of the attack on the verbal body language attack on the judicial magistrate when he came to Sathangulam police station a few days ago, there were two senior officers, an additional SP and a DSP present. The Honorable High Court has taken suo motu contempt. But then the state has decided to transfer them. They were kept on wait for a few hours and then given a plum posting. One is in Nilgiris and the other is in Pudukkottai. This is a shame. Once again, have a different attitude for senior police officers and you treat your lower police officers like shit. And that is the problem with the police. I'm sorry to use that word, but that is exactly what it is. I am being, I'm being stressed with the number of phone calls I receive from policemen who are all genuine policemen, honest policemen, policemen with dignity, policemen who are honest, who are all saying, please ensure that our dignity continues by this case ending in conviction. This is their appeal. This is no longer the appeal of civil society. It is the appeal. But I'm surprised that in Tamil Nadu, where you have a number of retired IPS officers who have a lot to talk about in public, why have they, who meet almost every day in their association buildings, not yet come with a public statement of what they think the former commissioners, the former DGs, the former ADGs, the former IGs, where are you? Why are you not speaking? It's time you speak, because it is by speaking, it is by your words that you will bring confidence in the public. You continue to be good policemen only by speaking out when injustice takes place. We are not enemies of the police. We want good police. We want a policing which is responsible. We want a policing which is accountable. But for that, we also want former policemen, former top officers really acting. Thank you.